Alright everyone, welcome back as we go into the third and final map here between Nine and Sprout. As you can see the knife round playing out on your screens. I think Minio won that for his team, indeed he did. So Nine are going to get their choice of sides here, at least to kick things off on Mirage. And I do believe they are the ones who look pretty heavily favoured. They play Mirage quite a bit more, they have the stronger overall stats as well. So Sprout could be in a bit of trouble here. We'll see whether the momentum is carried forward from that previous map. But it was pretty shaky even towards the end. There was constant back and forth. And that was a map where Sprout are, well, pretty incredible according to their stats anyway. It's easily their strongest map.
Yeah, I think if I was Sprout, I'd be feeling a bit nervous here. There's a lot of reps for 9 on this particular battleground. And as they get to start on the CT side as well, an opportunity to really set themselves up for success here on map 3. Key picks up the kit and the smoke. He'll be the sole defender over towards A. Everyone else takes their positions in mid and B. And it's actually a heavy mid lane, which is going to help because it's going to be an A-site execute from Sprout. Retake setup called by 9, and it's about to be tested in the biggest way possible. Smokes over the top as the Waterfall at Palace looks to come through. It's a nice pick from Goofy, however, to open things up. Top of Con, he manages just to spot the head and find his team the opening, as now the battle will begin to rage in towards CT spawn. The afterplant's barely taken as the CTs with 3 players just look to overwhelm with numbers, and that's exactly what they do. Minio on the backstab finds another, and Lau and X, whilst he can get one, he will find no more. The retake is just about as perfect as you possibly could be, and we've gone to the wrong screen, Deanie boy.
Yeah, no, the X-ray reset itself again. I had done it during the warm-up, but once the game restarted, like, you know, when they went live, it restarts and then it turned itself off again. So I needed to do the console content. We're good though. I only missed it for the pistol round, and I think it was straightforward enough that people weren't too confused, thankfully. Also, it's Mirage, not like we're on a nuke or whatever, where you need kind of the assistance along with the radar to tell where people are exactly. A force buy-in from Sprout though, as you would imagine. They're the bomb plant, so it's not too bad, but they've gone a bit heavier on the utility maybe than you would have expected. They could have came out with a bit more firepower. Instead, 1 AK, 1 Galil, that scout, and a couple deagles. With Maze, as I said, getting the full utility behind us, so we'll see what the plan is. Hades, he's rocking an AUG, and, well, he's rocking a scout bullet into the chest right now. That's going to inhibit what he can do during this round.
Good opening damage. Question is, what does Sprout want to call off the back of it? At the moment, it's a group up towards this A site, which is very heavily occupied. 3 players, in fact, inhabiting it at the moment, and aggression actually being called down that ramp, but it's Zello who gets the better of it. A second tag out of that scout. 2 players holding on by the skin of their teeth at this point. Key, the only one with full health, and he's not really in a high impact position either. Tucks up top of Palace. He will find one onto Lau and X. That's a good start. Drops down to lower. Buys himself time with the smoke. But there's still options available for this T side, and they can still back away, which is what they look to call now. The bomb works its way back into CT spawn, and they think maybe the B bomb site's a little friendlier, especially now we've got the rotations cut off with Stare beautifully positioned on the AK. If they can deal with Kylar and Goofy inside of this site, then it's a free round, surely, for this T side. There needs to be some quick kills coming out here. Refresh goes down low, will be dealt with by Kylar, and Goofy's there to back him up with the second. Now Zello, the next to be felled. And unfortunately for Stare, he has the best weaponry this T side had, and with 10 seconds left, he's got nowhere to really deploy it. As much as he deals with Hades, he is going to be taken out by Key, and it will be a second round with 4 left alive for 9.
Yeah, that's what you want, especially with it having been the full buy from Sprout as well. It's not like they were on the eco just hoping for a bomb plant. They needed to get at least a few kills out of that to make things worthwhile, and it doesn't happen. Instead, a full eco with maybe a few pistols. They've got a bunch of HEs. 4 nades. Towards window, probably? No, they're going towards A. Wasn't expecting this, hoping to catch the cross towards stairs, maybe?
Where are they going with these?
Not too sure.
Hot flash into the ramp.
Will they even get a chance to use them before they get mowed down by an MP9 now is the question. Could have stacked them close in on a ramp once they find out that he's here. Will that be the play? One player tries to grab it out and Hades pushes in. Takes a couple nades, but it's not even that much damage. He just stands tall. 4 kills for himself already. The ace maybe to come. He'd like the last kill on the MP9 if possible for the extra economy, but he's already gone ahead and farmed it up pretty strong at this point, but there it is, the ace, just for the sake of it. Nice little anti-eco. It's how you want your opera to be starting things off.
Yeah, the perfect man to be getting it. I thought we were going to see something really cool and unique there from the nades. Instead, it was bait one in and then try and randomly... I think that was definitely a plan B call of just rapidly try and form some kind of nade stack. Didn't work out as intended, of course, and now 3-0 down. They will get the rifles out again. Zello on that AWP once more. As Hades takes his over towards the B site. In fact, wants to work his way back up short. Zello not given anything early on down the ramp either. So he'll look to reset. And it is going to be delayed mid-take coming in here. So Hades will have his shot at this.
Yeah, but he will have an opposing opper to fight up against. Both sides moving incredibly slowly. Obviously, Nine don't have much else to do with it. They just want to remain where they are, waiting for the fight to come in, and they will eventually find it, but there's no peek from top mid. And when it eventually comes in, Hades, he whiffs it a little bit, to be honest. The crouch under the bullet didn't quite have the down angle flick in play, and well, despite the damage that's being done, I was going to say this round is firmly in the hands of Sprout if they could have just kept that numbers advantage with the time, but a peek from Palace gets shut down, and suddenly it's a 3-on-3. Refresh is low on health. They haven't got the most time to work with. Only 40 seconds, considering they have a player split over towards B as well. I think the bomb's actually moving back in that direction.
They've called him. Yeah. They've pulled him. The timing on this is everything. If they look to budge, if they look to take back towards A, then that could well decide it. Zello solo out, trying to bait it, and he's done it. He's pulled him off the site just long enough for Refresh to get out of that window. Molotov goes in. He's low on HP, though, and he will be traded cleanly. He's bought a little bit of space, a little bit of time. Stair will get that bomb down, but he's going to be pincered in on. He needs some lightning quick kills here, and already up short. He should have been spotted on this transfer, and indeed he was. A little bit sketchy around the edges for Nine, but considering the position they were in, they find a round that they really had no business winning. They keep 3 players alive. They build that CT economy. You couldn't ask too much more of them.
No, so far I'd imagine this is panning out exactly as Nine would have hoped for. The economy could certainly be stronger on a couple players, but Kylar and Key looking decent. Goofy's is okay as well. Hades obviously with purchasing in the op is a little bit weaker in that regard, but their plan anyway is to just keep on winning rounds if they can, and we'll see what Sprout have to say about that now that they've got everything they could ask for themselves. Apart from an op, which they had before, and it didn't work out too well for them. We'll see, perhaps the rifles are the better shout right now, with pickup in the pace from Zello at least. It looked like he was considering charging perhaps in towards window if not for the molly. Nade maybe to do some damage as well. Yeah, Zello down to 43. He took that heavier than I thought he would. Refresh on 60. The spam damage coming in as well. It's the molly that actually finishes Refresh off, as the initial kill now sways the way of Nine once again. 2 players in Palace. It's clearly the A split that they want, but this sandwich player will not be expected. How much can he get? It's Key with 1 already. If he shuts this down, it's only Connector to worry about, and although he doesn't get that second kill, it was great damage and just a great hold overall, but it still comes into a relatively close 2-on-2. Now 1-on-2 for LowenX.
Yeah, the health is going to be the real issue here. He's got time, though. Space to work with as well, as Kylar has left a route open in CT. There's a long flanking mission coming in from Goofy, but as of now, it's not really going to be tested. Kylar, it's a question of timings. He's got to hold 2 angles at once, and if LowenX gets his timing right, he may well catch him in transition between them, but he won't. Caster Curse comes through. It's a 5th round on the board for Nine. This time just 2 alive, but they've built themselves enough of a bank that that's no longer really the concern. And for Sprout, I think the alarm bells will start to ring, Dean. This is 5-0, relatively cleanly dealt with at every impasse, and this one's going to be another half buy to try and get something done.
I like how the saying is they built the bank rather than they built up their economy or whatever. It's just like a literal vision of them putting a bank together brick by brick.
It's a nice analogy.
Yeah, but I just never really thought about it enough. I thought about it that time and was like, yeah, it's not the image I was expecting. Literally building a bank. Either way, it's a half buy from Sprout as we'd be expecting. They have a Galil, Mac 10. There's a chance for a few kills maybe and a bomb plant hopefully, considering the hold as well from Nine. They're behind these smokes, so a bomb plant, I would say, is fairly viable. Although that CT smoke is terrible. Was that thrown by the T's? That might be key smoke, I think, for him to play around.
They're actually looking to back out of this as well, as Zello finds an opening. They've pulled the bomb out of the A site. It may well want to make its way back now that they've found the free shot, and indeed, with that man advantage found, it is now going to loop back in towards A, and Hades is a little isolated in con as well. He needs the support here, takes the dink through the wall, finds the kill. They need the numbers inside of this site, though, and quickly. They need to provide support. These Deagles are slowly but surely chipping away. Another boost up. This time it's Refresh on the Galil. The MAC-10 looking to charge, but it's the AWP combining with the rifles well. It's a little chaotic. There's a team kill in amongst it. Minio holding left mouse button down till he gets the job done. But 9 won't mind that one too much at all. They get it over the line. Again, a little sketchy around the edges, but those extra reps, those extra times they've spent on Mirage, you're looking at 5 maps played in the last month to 16. You can see it paying off for 9 right now.
Yeah, I was going to mention that myself, and you might be thinking still relatively early days. It's only 6-0. You've got to remember, 9 got slapped at the beginning of both of the previous maps and had to fight their way back into them to make them as competitive as they were. This time, they've just ran away with a 6-0 scoreline. We haven't seen Sprout have to really fight in from behind in that same regard, so I'm definitely worried for them.
Just the manner the rounds have been going in as well. It's been a little sketchy, but so often it's been 2-3 left alive for the CT side. They've had a solid read on it. And they've been able to shut Sprout down before they've really got very much going. This time the initial prods and pokes from the T side don't yield too much. So they double back into their mid control with 1:05 on the clock. Should be taken relatively cleanly as well with the wall of smokes up. Nothing the CT side can do but sit and wait. And the question becomes, where does Sprout want to go? It once again is going to be this A-site split. But heavy-handed presence is available for the CT side, and actually they're going to look to play just that little bit ahead of the smokes. Molly will change the plan, but Goofy still lies in wait on short. A stare boosts over the smoke, and that's a lovely little play to find an opening. Suddenly, the A site is under siege, and the timing is disgusting. Refresh draws the crosshair of Hades away. It's Key doing all he can to keep his team in it. And he's bought them a 2-on-3 at least, but Goofy and Kyla are a long way away on this rotation, or are they? As they arrive just in time to catch the plant through the CT smoke. This time it's a wallbang, but Kylar's not going to respect it at all. He's charging on out. He's chipped away even further at Maze. As now, it's a clean kill for Goofy that leaves Refresh in the 1v2. He has managed to get out, and that might be critical. The bomb is tapped. Refresh knows at some point he has to swing it clean for 1, but not the second. Goofy swinging just a little bit wider than I think Refresh expected. And it goes down to the wire, but it's 7-0. It's another round on the back of Cloud9. 9's CT side.
Yeah, be a daydreaming. It's been such a one-sided game. Yeah. You said the bomb was tapped, but so is Goofy with the performance he's having so far here on the CT side. Absolutely nuts. Everyone really. I think Kylar had no deaths before that one either. Just great work all around that we're seeing from them, and 7-0, almost halfway there already with no resistance as of yet put up by Sprout. I mean, we've had a few close rounds. The economy does reflect that. It's not as far out of control as you'd normally see at a 7-0. Still, Zello's going to find 2 of them pushing here. The op is not the ideal weapon for that, and Key, he's not good for the 2, but he is good to go ahead and dink up 1 despite being blinded to allow his teammate to get that finish. Refresh pulls back 1 at least in connector, and Lewen has crept out Palace. Alright, suddenly things are starting to flip a bit on their head. Key could be the key to turning this round back in favor of 9, but he can't make it happen. It's Lewen. He's been the hero for Sprout multiple times on previous maps, and he's coming alive here now on Mirage when they need him. But this is still winnable. Where has this come from?
Where has this come from? 3-on-5. And a little bit of chaos has found Sprout some breathing room. Lewen is low. And that's going to be an issue as he looks to post himself in CT. Maze will get the bomb down. Maze takes the fight and goes down clean. Now Kylar has no information at all. Half HP. The HE will go the wrong way, out towards the firebox. He should know that Lewen is low. But if he bides his time as he hides in towards the depths of Ticket, Waits for the CT to make the move. Lauanex now starts to think about showing himself. Smoke onto the bomb and a clean headshot on 6 HP as Sprout finally land a punch.
Yeah, it was actually a bit of a beatdown from Lauanex. I don't think he's going to be dealing that out every round, though, so a more consistent way of winning rounds is going to be necessary here for Sprout, and they're fully aware of that. That's why they say, all right, we may have finally won our first round. Let's make sure now that we can actually make good of it. Let's get a pause in and ensure we can win a second, maybe even a third round off the back of it, because otherwise it's going to be useless and this game will just be slipping away from us completely. Surprisingly, the one buy is going to completely break 9. Is there a weapon on the ground for Key? I would imagine so. No, he's going to be stuck on an MP9. Not ideal, but it is the only weak weapon, I believe. So overall, it's pretty solid. But again, considering they'd won 7 rounds in a row, they would have been hoping for a bit more in the reserve. So it's a big chance for Sprout to come alive.
Huge opportunity now. As you said, start to swing this one back with just one good round. What's the call is the question. Maze stays in the spawn, throws a little bit of util to fake. The majority of this T side looks to pop onto the B site, and there is very little home from the CTs. Kylar deep out towards the window as the smokes go over. He won't be able to contest initially. Counter flashes at the very least are halfway decent, and Minio from short will provide one. Goofy has dealt with the late lurk as well. It is all on this B site hit now. A stare looking the wrong way will go down cleanly. Zello trying to trade it into some kind of winnable position, but they're all over the site, the CTs, or are they? Kylar tries to maintain control as it's refresh. In the 1v2, they know roughly where he is, but they've still got to isolate it, and Kylar will. The wallbang connects. The fast-paced B play is shut down. And once again, it's Sprout back on the half buys. 1 round and done. They'll be glad it's the new economy, because in the good old days, that's a hard reset.
Yeah, and that's when you're like, all right, 16-1. Been a few years since that now. We do expect at least some investment here, and then they'll get the guns back out in the following, but likely that's already at a 9-1 scoreline, and really they'd be looking for all of the remaining rounds to salvage the half, so yeah, they really will have a tough time ahead here. Let's see what can be done with even just the pistols. A few kills to bring the confidence back. Destroy the economy as well, potentially, as the money isn't really there for 9. Unfortunately, the up-close Tech 9 play around Connector, while it looked hopeful, they aren't able to catch Minio. He manages to fade back into the smoke and get away after picking up an initial kill. Nice shot from Zello. You've got a low health player now in towards jungle alongside this Opper. This could get scary.
This could get scary real quick. Goofy's gone 1 for 1 as well. They're losing bodies left, right, and center. Hades trying to stabilize. We'll at least find one more, but Minio's low, and he'll go down clean stare, very nearly making it awkward. Kylar able to grab the 2 kills to finish it, but as you said, the economy is on a knife edge now for 9. 3 kills out of that one, considering how little Sprout brought into it. They'll be happy with the result. And it leaves plenty of space as the buy comes in now for them to potentially make a run at this late in the T side.
It's possible. I mean, normally you wouldn't see a team having the opportunity at 9-1 to potentially break their opponent with just a single round win. So even though they might not be fully aware of that, they are definitely sure the economy's not as strong as 9 would want it to be. So keep it in mind. They had their pause here. Of course, they'll have had a little bit of a chat about what they can do, and hopefully they have a play in mind now to get that second round on the board, because a third will likely come off the back of it, and maybe even a fourth, depending on whether it's the force buy that comes in from 9. So yeah, I can see the road forward. Will they find it, though? It's the question. Mid control looking to be pretty standard. Nothing special from the CT side either. It's actually only an M4 in towards window that's now pinned down. That could be dangerous. You have a drop in towards under from Key as well. Alongside the B apps aggression, that's going to take his attention. Key should have this kill indeed. Drops refresh. Might have moved back towards mid, I thought, to help his teammate, but he already escaped from window, so that's unnecessary. Well, actually, even just sticking under for now. I thought he was going to back out through B. Can't do so anymore as the bomb starts to move over here.
I like it, though. It keeps this T side on their toes.
And he might have fell back. They have no way to know for sure.
Yeah, they're going to have to spend the time clearing it. And even if they do, there's a risk of going down to it. So they'll actually have to back out. Have to rethink, as their mid player's being tagged up as well. Stare down to 3 HP and a lot of trouble. Will just about get out with his life. But as they double back into the A site play, there's a huge amount of damage done, and there should be a huge amount of info gained as well, as Key will be able to clear all of this chunk of the map out and confirm with damn near certainty that it is going to be the A site at the end of the day. So the rotations will be here before Sprout can make their hit happen. It'll be a 5-on-4, straight up brawl on out, and Laon X has gone down early. Stare, with limited to no HP, is dunked on an airstrike from Minio, and as Zello picks up one in response, it's looking incredibly dire now for Sprout. Zello, typically the AWPer, will roam out on the rifle looking for something, but his in-game leader's gone down in the meanwhile, and Zello, well, he's doing all he can to make it close. 13 seconds left in the 2-on-1. He wants to get that bomb down. Taps it once, tries to bait somebody into the crosshairs, bait a peek out of something, and Goofy goes down low to finish it. The problem is, as much as the damage is good, as much as it looks spectacular from Zello, Sprout are 10-1 down. They don't care about damage. They don't care about disrupting the economy. They need rounds, and they need them right now.
It's getting a little bit too late for it even. Desperate times for sure at this point. They'll buy up what they can afford to purchase. Zello gets an AK at least. Other than that, though, again, pistols and Kevlar. And, I mean, they're struggling to get anything even with the full buys going, so I'm not too optimistic. I am optimistic they'll somehow make it a very close round, as they always do, though, and then get edged out. Zello, at least with a quick map control around ladder. It's a decent find. They have no real fight to contest on mid there. 9 happy to give it up. Playing very heavy towards B, actually. Expecting the B play, I guess, with the weaker buy being in.
I like the idea from Sprout early, as you said, a huge amount of map control maintained for very little cost as well. And as you said, heavy-handed in the stack as Sprout looked to double back into A, potentially going to cause issues. The nearest rotation is Hades, but with no real knowledge of mid either. This could yet get ugly. The only problem with this is that the best gun of the lot is on Zello. And he is the lurk. He's the man to cut the rotation. So it's going to be on the pistols to get it done on the A-site entry. Goofy in with an early kill. Laon X, though, up close and personal. The Deagle shotgun deals with Minio. And now that will be a rifle recovered. As much as Zello has lost his into mid, there's an M4 in the hands of this T side as they look to work their way back out onto this A-site. Bomb, a little cautious, a little wary of the potential angles. Will now go for the plant. The smoke buys them a little bit of space to do that. 4-on-4. Hades in position. Catches the rotating Laon X. That's the rifle gone. Now it's on the pistols. And out of Palace, there's a huge chance here. May's not quite able to land it, however, and he'll be forced backwards, forced to retreat. Fast flank coming in the meanwhile, potentially has half a chance, and indeed it catches Hades. This is getting bad now for the guys. It's getting bad for 9. Stare with a second. Smoke on the bomb to try and allow the ninja to fuse, but it's a little chaotic. Key yet to get on it. Goofy just trying to body block his man and buy a little bit of space, and it will be enough. By the skin on their teeth once more, 9 have found a way to skim the round past Sprout. And oh my goodness, they will be gutted. Everything this T-side does, it just doesn't quite work.
It's not the first time we've seen a round being won out like that. Earlier, it was back on Ancient, I believe, right, where Key was able to pull off a defuse like that. Honestly, I thought they were kind of screwed when he hopped off the defuse initially, and then Goofy was running up the stairs. He only hopped back on it at that point, but thankfully Goofy held them off for just a second or two, really. That's all that was necessary with the kit in play. The mid-aggression coming in, though, is a change up from 9. Right up in the faces of our opponent. Unfortunately, a team flash made things a little bit awkward, and with a trade coming back from Zello and with B being taken over already by Sprout, this is easily the best round they've had thus far, and it looks like they're just going to run over them here. 9 tried some crazy stuff and it just didn't work out.
Yeah.
I think this was an over-ambitious round from them on the CT
Here's
side.
the run back. Here's the run back. The economy breaks for 9. With just 2 rounds left as well. This is not going to be a good buy in either of them for the CT side.
Far, yeah.
It's going to be a force here and a force into the next. It's going to be very ugly and an opportunity, as you said, Sprout. 4 on the board. More than you would have backed them to get until very recently.
Bit of a miracle, to be honest. Was not expecting it.
And a huge opportunity. Then you take the pistol, you start to close that gap on down. Still a very doable result. Fast play up short is called by the T side. The AWP looking to roam early on. Isolated fight found as Key looking to be a bit cheeky in the underpass, but again, with just the deagles, there's not the support, not the utility that he had previously. Goes down 3. And now with the molly, they start to flush out these remaining deagles. The spray down is good from Lau and X, of course it is. And that will be 3. Kylar over on B. The only potential hole in this is that Hades could spot bomb. If he catches a nice timing, he may well have bomb at his feet. Question is, what can he really do with that information? Zello is aware that they've left the gap open. He's got his deagle out to check for it. And Hades has only got a 5-7 to work with. Whoa.
Not bad. Further damage would have been nice to help Kylar out in what is a very difficult 1-on-3, though. Don't love his chances, but he's in a decent position. Might even make it around the CT. No, decides to come through the murder hole. Don't think he's going to quite catch the cross, but there is one player out in the open. The deagle not quite landing, at least not initially. Ends up taking a ton of damage and doesn't expect that mid lurker to still be in place up on the railing. So, yeah, 11-3. That third round is found for Sprout, but it's at least made slightly costly. I don't think it makes much of a difference, though. Yeah, you can see they can get everything back in anyway, so the damage not really impacting at all. And it's a very similar buy coming in again from 9. Pistols, a Mag 7 to help out this time, and an MP9 for Goofy. So, as we had said, Sprout should be getting themselves this 4th round here. Oh. Bit of a terrible flash.
Not great, but it's fast mid control again called, again knowing that the firepower isn't quite there for the CT side. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. This worked previously. Surely it will work again as Zello. That is a nasty little shot to leg up Minio very early on in proceedings. And at this point, you can see how little information the CT side have. Key trying to bait them in. Trying to pull something towards his team. But Maze through the top of the smoke has dealt with the already legged up Minio. And that's going to start disassembling the stack before it even gets a chance to hit.
Caught up on short a little bit. That, I was going to say, could be dangerous. Peek from A gets shut down, though. A 5-7, probably not the weapon you want at that range either. As the dink does very little damage to the corner of the metal pole, I believe. Mike 7 might have a shot at maybe pulling off a kill or 2 here. And, well, Goofy also in position, so they're at least where they need to be. What can they get done? The initial kill comes in from Kylar, but that is all they find. 11-4 in the end at the halftime. Solid enough recovery, I've got to say, from Sprout, but they're going to need a lot more going into the second half on what is, I would say, home territory for 9. So stick with us. We're going to be back as soon as they ready up and get that second pistol round going.
Seems like I can't get away from the hot sun. Always night and never day. Even when I wash the floor, the dust still comes. Keep on hunting for the bread. No matter how lost, need no light, no spark. I'm in line mode. With my eyes closed, I can see in the dark. I'm a quiet storm. Far from calm, I know you feel me, brother. Seems like I can't get away from the hot sun. Always night, it's never day. Even when I watch the floor, the dust will come.
Alright, we're back. Here we go. Said it wouldn't be too long before we got that second half going, and was the truth. Sprout got themselves, what, 3 rounds in a row there towards the end. If they pick up this pistol round, I start believing that they can put up a fight and that they can give us an interesting third map here.
Definitely still possible. For sure, still a chance. Decoy thrown out towards B to feign, perhaps, that they aren't there when they are. 2 flashes in Minio as well. Not a lot more than that, however, and as the bomb makes its way out underpass, this fake has not pulled as much as I think the T side would hope. Goofy, however, has managed to find an early opening, and Lauan X has been spotted in and amongst this. So they know where at least one more warm body is, but there is a lot of CT presence inside of this A site, and as Lauan X deals with the Palace play, they're going to have to rethink the strategy here on the fly, 9. It's that last man in towards backbench, Refresh, holding on to the B site as he calls for the rotation, screams for it, but will it be too late? Minio has dealt with the site hold. The bomb can make its way up short, unaffected. Stare is yet to really get anything done off the back of that, as Kylar will be allowed to transition that bomb in. Goofy, meanwhile, lays in wait inside of the window for a freebie. Stare spotted as he looks to retreat entirely. It's Lauan X, at least on a flank. But Stare is still stuck, and he's lost all his teammates. Still knows that Goofy is there, but there's nothing he can do to stop it. Smoke goes down. Tries to survive with his life with a kit, but he's got no armor behind it. The save not even worth the attempt, as they will hunt him down, and 9 will finish it 12-4.
Heartbreaking. That pistol round was their chance really to get anything going here on Mirage. Now they're going to be looking at a full eco most likely. I don't think we'll see the force coming in. And then their first actual gun round isn't going to be amazing either. I mean, it'll probably be lacking a bit in terms of utility and such. So, yeah, 9 have what could be a somewhat uncontested path to the finish line at this point. Let's see. 1 HE bought up, that's all. Might actually land. No, never mind. Hit the wall. Minio going to back away as he spots quite a bit of presence as well. Drop the smoke, and, well, if they funnel themselves through this into the Mac 10, they're going to have a tough time.
They want to. They want to face it. They want to see if they can get something done. It's 3 for the Mac 10 before he goes down, and that is, yeah, just as you said, a tough time, Dean. Clean as you like. The kills come through, and at this point, I mean, what can you realistically expect? Another kill would be great, but who's going to give it up? The Galil takes the fight in towards middle, but it's a USP on the other end of it that really doesn't have a lot of wiggle room. The Mac 10, I mean, do you even really want to save that SMG into the next round?
I mean, they're going to have the bare minimum to get their rifles and a few nades behind this, so it could probably still be useful for the B player or something, yeah. Not really, though. I mean, you'll take it. But if he could get 1 exit, I think that would be favourable, and that's exactly what he's trying to force right now. That would give him the extra nades alongside the rifle. Jump up in the window, right in the bullet, unfortunately. So Maze is gone. He's not going to get any more. But he has 4750, so I think he's okay.
Ooh!
Was that nearly a kill?
It had 1 bullet. Hades was 15 HP, and he got 1 shot off. I don't think it would have killed him unless it was a headshot, but it was close.
13-4, though. The buy, as we said, a little bit better than I thought it would be. They've not got any kits, though, I don't believe. Yeah, that's going to be a small issue. Nades could be slightly better, but overall, they've got what they need here, rather, to try and come alive. And this is really their only chance that they're going to have on this CT side.
Good damage through the smoke to open it up. Minio down to 28. Kylar, meanwhile, looks to prod and poke at this B site. There's gaps in this smoke for him to abuse, to try and work with. Really just looking to play the timing game when it comes to B, but Refresh is up for the challenge, as is Maze. 2 quick kills. As you said, time to come alive for the CT side, and they do just that. 4 kills unopposed. Lauan X with a lovely little sequence down the ramp that leaves Hades wondering how that has gone so spectacularly wrong. It's flawless. Just what Sprout needed.
All right. A lifeline found, and I don't think we're going to see a force buy here. I mean, they might go for it, actually, because 9 have enough to buy on 4 players. Minio's on 2,000. Considering they know if they manage to swing back and win out this round here, that Sprout will be on the brink of their money being destroyed again. It does look worthwhile, and yeah, they decide to go for it. Even Minio, despite when he gets the Tech 9, gets the full utility to work with, thankfully. Window smoke thrown out. Blocked by Zello. Nice.
Nice little idea. Gives them the clue that nothing's coming out of mid, but Lauanex is still quite lonely over on this A site. Now he has support. Maze has joined him. Smoke goes in to block off this Palace pop. Timing is going to be everything. There is multiple bodies inside of this site. Kylar, it's a rough old spray, but he gets it done. Lauanex, meanwhile, however, continues to rain down on Palace. Finally, a molly to flush him into the open, but it just gives him more. Another clean headshot, this time onto Minio. Stop going A, boys. That's where Lauanex resides, and despite the damage on the board, this one has absolutely collapsed. The bomb will back its way out of the situation. Lauanex still hunting for blood. And he is going to be tested once more. This time it's Hades who thinks about it and then redirects. Lauanex with all that ramp control though. So much room to work with. And with Kylar down on 19 HP, one smoke available for this T side, it feels like Sprout might start to grow this CT side into something to be proud of.
Not too sure what the plan is now. Just save, I suppose, yeah. They still have the 2 weapons carried over, but they'll be taking an eco otherwise, so Sprout will be looking likely at building up towards 7 rounds. Win out the next gun round, suddenly they're on 9, and begin to believe that perhaps they can still turn the fate of this game around. Yeah, no one willing to hunt on the side of Sprout either. They need all that money for themselves. So, yeah, 2 AKs carried through. Obviously, it leaves them in a bit of an awkward spot with 2 players now being completely mismatched economy-wise. So, it looks like they actually want to just buy up around the Key goes for the Deagle. He keeps a little bit of money. They get 2,400, so it won't give them enough to buy. They need a bomb plant, really, to be able to ensure that they'd have any sort of weaponry in the next round. And even then, that wouldn't be quite possible. So, no matter what, they're likely looking at an eco in this next round. The goal has got to be to win this one out here and now.
Last play out of mid from Hades. Going to be mollied off. Plays ahead of it, but the flashbang is good. Plenty of presence in towards mid. Zello not expecting the boost up, but Hades can't quite land the shot. Will just retreat out of middle before it gets too difficult for him. That was the play. That was the opening they wanted to work for. Not quite found. The question is, what is plan B here for 9? They've got 1 flashbang left to get themselves into some kind of a position. How much can you realistically achieve with that?
To be fair, seeing Hades and Kylar have moments throughout this series where they've popped off, so I don't want to count them out completely. Minio on the Deagle looks like he might be finding contact in window soon. I think he's going to wait until everyone else starts pushing as well. Maybe not, though. Now actually takes first contact as they beat connector as well. Doesn't really work out in either regard. Already 1 AK being lost as well. Hades going to see if he can pull one back. He knows the player still tucked in on the stairs. Gets that initial entry clean as well. Good return. Let's see what else is going to come his way at this point. He's going to need some mistakes really to be made because time is already ticking away.
No util. That's the problem here. They've got nothing to break this one open, and as Key goes down, it's going to go from bad to worse. Goofy does what he can, but the bomb is now in no man's land, and it's a rough old spray. Goofy just trying to find any kind of damage that he can. 10 seconds, though, and that bomb in such a difficult position that there is going to be no recovery. Goofy, I think he just wants to die here, but he needs to try and stay alive because that clock is going to betray him. Another round chips on by. 9 struggling with the rifles in hand to get some consistency on this T side, and it's allowing Sprout a lot of confidence to build their way back in.
Yeah, certainly not as clean as they'd hoped for, but the main thing is they're winning rounds. That was eluding them in the previous half, and even with the damage being done, they've still got a couple players whose economy are looking pretty decent, so see, as long as they can take this one with 3 to 4 standing, then shouldn't be too much trouble. There is still 1 AK to deal with in the hands of Goofy, of course. Looking to head straight into an A play this time around, I believe. boost above the smoke, not quite working out though. Only one bullet landing on Leonex.
I think they spotted just a shoulder.
Yeah. This B aggression should confirm there's not much going on this side of the map at least. And he's about to find himself a free
Minio.
kill. Might even get the knife. Will he bother? He's thinking. Nah, says I better just take that kill and back away. Play it safe.
And that was the plan. Firmly ruined. There was utility to be thrown from the top mid player. Nothing doing. They'll double back, but it's too late. Stair is slinked off into the night. And at this point, again, 50 seconds on the clock. You've lost a man. You've got limited to no util. What's the plan B? How do you look to get back into this? Hades will swing out mid initially and take the contact. The rifle soon to follow. They've got the mid control, sure, but where do you want to go from there? Still an A ramp lurk, and it looks like back towards A is the call, but there's a lot of presence home for the CT side.
Zello, despite being blinded, lands that shot. A follow-up as well as he comes out with a hat-trick for himself. Stair barely even at the giant in on the action while blinded. An 8th round for Sprout, a very convincing one as well. Now they're going to be going up against a gun round for the first time in a couple of rounds. One that's strong, at least. There was always weaknesses in the previous ones with just a couple of rifles and such. I think a little still kept in play for Goofy. That's not ideal, but other than that, everything is pretty much perfect. Lose this, though, and I begin to worry a little bit. At that point, Sprout head up to double digits, and we've already seen them have some really strong wins, like the way they turn things around, even just on Ancient.
Should have been the unlosable game, but this is getting close now. Aggression from Zello this time. Molotov will back Kylar into a corner. Allow Zello to post himself. Wallbang as well. They know they've got someone pinned. Molotov tick should have given it away. Zello will continue to lock this one out. And with that positioning, they will actually rotate almost the entire CT defense over towards A. Knowing that Zello has got this portion of the map on lock, Minio's going to go for the swing, but it's a free kill. Unopposed. Kylar unable to swing an assist. And from here, once again, it's a 4v5. And, well, it's going to be a 3-on-4 in favor of the CTs as 9 look to execute into this site. And that is not a phrase you find yourself saying very often. The util even goes out to deny a little more time, a little more control away from this T side of 9s. They need something. And at the moment, there's just nothing being given to them. Zello still locking out the B play. And it's still a 3-on-3, even as they look to head into A. Kylar doing what he can, has drawn one. Finally, Zello goes down, but still there is so much presence inside of this A site. Hades deals with the first. Refresh remains tucked, and he's yet to be checked. Hades on 4 HP will be his first victim, or will he? He reads it like a book, gets the wallbang, and as much as Stair manages to find the man over on B, it's still a 1v2. Hades low. Wants the AWP, can't find it. Instead, he'll satisfy himself with the Galil. Goofy on the AK-47. A 2-man CT play, no smoke to lock them out of it. It's going to be Stair taking the fights or bust. Hades will show first. Look to draw the crosshair away. Stair, no idea where to look next. Still 10 seconds on that diffuser. Stair gets one. And, oh, Goofy's shown himself. Stair knows where this fight is. He dinks him up. But there's not quite enough time. No kit. He'll have to back away. 9. Oh, it's reminiscent of Ancient Dean. It runs right down to the wire, but they have 14, and you can see the frustration from Stair.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. Just had no idea the player was still up close the entire time, and if he did, he would have had a pretty decent shot at pulling that one off, to be honest. I got a little bit scared even when it came down to the fight right there. An extra second or two on the clock, and he had it won. 14 to A. It seemed like they were closing the gap in. It seemed like they were on track for maybe double digits, and it would have been 13-10. Instead, now there's a 6-round gap between them, and Sprout are really on their last chance to keep themselves in this one, although thankfully they're up against what is going to be a pretty weak buy. Do not like the economy at all here for 9. I don't think they do either. They're yet to spend anything. Calling a pause to see what the plan is.
Problem is, that is not a replicable round. So they are sat here going, well, we know Sprout are still going to have money. We know that we've only really got one rifle round over the line, and that was a little sketchy at best. So what on earth do we do here? How do we find consistency to get the 2 rounds we need to finish this? And that is the dilemma that will plague them here. Mac 10 in the hands of Key. That economy, as you said, very, very sketchy. 3 Galils to back up the 1 AK of Hades. And it looks like something faster is the call from 9. This is a nice counter play, though. Stair has worked his way all the way to top mid in the opening seconds. And meanwhile, you've got Minio throwing fake util that is fooling absolutely nobody. It's going to be a B hit. They know it. There's bodies here, but can they hold? Kylar in with the first. There's the trade. Key tagged up as well. As they look to swarm this site, there will be bodies here. A rotation coming in meanwhile from Lau and X. And he's the one man you don't want inside a B. He trades his teammate's death, buys a little more room, but not enough. Goes down to it. And as much as this backstab is coming, Minio is watching. Timing could be everything. Minio shoulders it, knows where Stair is. Now there's just one unknown, and it's Zello. The AWPer trying to work his way out of window. Nothing given, though. Bomb still to be planted. Still time to play with, potentially, for this CT side. Flashed out. Zello continues to roam. Goofy will punch the numbers in. 2 on 3 to try and find as the smoke goes down, just to give Stair half an angle into short, but it's not enough. Minio deals with him, and at this point, Zello, how can you even dream of getting an AWP into a 1v3 retake of the B site? You can't. The save is called. The frustration once again is there, but it's 15 for 9. They found another gear, and they are taking it right to the wire.
Oh, thought he was about to lose the op there as well. Decent chance he could still end up doing so, though. If they want to hunt it, they have the chance to. Although, looking at their own money, I don't think 9 want to risk it anymore. They're broken still. So Zello's going to have an op carried through, but that's not a massive help really at this point. Even with the money that they have, sure they'll be able to drop a few weapons about, and I think maybe one player at most is left on a weaker weapon, but 7 rounds in a row. That's what they need to get this to an overtime right now. I feel it's kind of heartbreaking because they started things off on such a decent note on this CT side as well, but it's fallen apart pretty quickly. Double up.
Big green panic button. Sprout desperate. Looking for salvation. Will the double AWP provide it is the question. Out of mid, fly 3 for the T side. There is a heavy-handed mid setup, but it's not quite working yet. Zello trying to make it so. Able to trade at least one, but he's low on HP, and they know it. They're playing with him. And it will be the nade that finishes the job. Man advantage found on the initial mid play from the T side of 9. AWP is gone. Or at least one of them is. Lau and X still roams the secondary. Problem is, again, there is a real lack of firepower, a real lack of manpower now for this CT side, and Stair knows it. Wants to try and pull the trigger on something special. The AWP will work its way down. Won't find the kill, though. And as much as Stair trades it, Goofy is immediately there to back his man up and refresh his left. An MP9 in a 1v3. Bomb is down, sure, but how can Refresh even get into a position to contest it? He's stuck on the short pillar, hoping beyond all hope that this T side will wander in without checking their corners. And I think it's only a matter of time. Kylar's seen it. The flick of a barrel spotted. The MP9's position now known. He'll try and swing. He's trying to get anything he can, but it's not to be. It will be 9 who proceed to the upper bracket. And it will be the boys on Sprout with their new in-game leader that have to do it the long way. Dropping down into the lower bracket matchup. And it's a lower bracket that I am not particularly envious of because Big lost their game against Monty. So Big will be the opponent in that lower bracket, and that is, well, it's a harsh lower bracket to have to deal with, Dean.
Yeah, I don't think that's the game we get to